Hey everybody, thank you for joining us for today's special episode of Real Estate Disruptors. Today we got Zady, Yagi Azarian, all the way out here from Vegas. So with the Guardian Group, our second out-of-state guest, and we just discussed this. I mean, we are national now.
Right.
So,
national now.
And he's here to share how he's had multiple $100,000 months wholesaling. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm Steve Trang, broker owner of Stunning Homes Realty, co-founder of the Offer Fast app, the one app you need for wholesaling, and I help people become real estate entrepreneurs. If you're excited for today's show, please give me a wave, give me a thumbs up. And before we get started, I started this show because I want to give back to our community. In fact, that's something you and I talked about earlier, very passionate about, is that we're very fortunate that we can give back the knowledge that we've learned along the way. And I don't charge a dime for this show. I don't make any money doing this, so here's all I ask. If you get value out of this show, please tell a friend. Either share the episode right now, tag a friend below, or tell them your best takeaway from the show later on. That way we can all grow together. And don't forget, this is a live show, so please post your questions, and Zady's going to be very happy to answer them.
Absolutely.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start with some softballs.
Okay.
All right.
Softball questions.
So,
All right.
what is a droogie?
What is a droogie? Droogies. Oh, man, you got to hit me with that one, huh?
Yeah.
Droogie is, it means friend.
Mm-hmm.
It means gangster.
Yeah.
And by gangster, I mean somebody that takes what they want, but doesn't violate the rights of others.
Interesting.
So I look at that as like an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like comrade. You know, we're all. The brand basically is be yourself, be who you want to be. Because I know a lot of times people are scared to be who they want to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And you get judged, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, the brand, it's be who you want to be. You're gonna get judged anyways. At least you're being true to who you are. You
Cool.
know?
Awesome.
But, yeah.
So what got you into real estate?
Man, I was, a lot of people know my story. Like I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. You know, I'm not proud of it, but I'm not like shying away from it either.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought my first house when I was 16 with daddy's money,
Really?
in Arizona here, actually.
Oh, okay.
So we would buy in like the first stage of construction and then sell it in the third stage of construction. And then we would sell it at that point. So we would basically be wholesaling. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
But my father, I got out of real estate. My father passed away, and his wealth went.
Mm-hmm.
And he made me a promise to take care of my mother after he passed. And I didn't know he was going to die, so I'm like, yeah, Dad, I'll do it. Anyway, so he passes away. Now I have no idea how to make money,
How old were you?
money. This is like 4 years ago, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
like 34 years old. Yeah, I was 34 years old, like a late blooming piece of crap. Like I'm like, I would say I was a little boy until my dad died.
Okay.
So up until 4 years ago, I was a little boy.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn how to be a provider, and I just had to do something. So I read the only thing. I'm like, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I got to read this book. It says rich in it.
So you read Rich Dad Poor Dad at 34.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago. That was just the first.
Yeah, that's. I read the book, and then as soon as I read, it was an Audible because I hate reading.
Yeah.
So it was an Audible.
I love Audible. Audible's great.
Now, yeah, like when I run now, it's all I do when
Yeah.
I just listen to Audible. But I listen to it, and then I put in my 2 weeks notice 2 days after I read it. Or I
Really?
listened to it. I didn't put a two weeks notice. I actually wrote him a letter saying that you have to pay me double, and I want to work 2 times less. And if you don't accept it, this is my letter of resignation. Yeah.
I can definitely empathize because I did something very, very similar.
Oh, really? What'd you do?
When I submitted my notice, I was like, hey, I got to leave. And they're like, well, we hate for you to go. We see value here. In fact, they said, like, we can see you being VP of Intel, like one of the VPs of Intel one day. I said, okay, that's awesome. But, like, for me to leave, like, I need to make, like $200,000 a year. And they're like, okay, we'll see you later.
If they hit that number, would you have stayed?
Yeah, they hit that number, would have stayed.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would have made sense, right?
Yeah.
But
that's good. You know what you wanted, and they couldn't deliver it.
yeah. So that's what got you into real estate. So then, what were some of the first struggles you had when you first started?
Oh, wow. So I'm gonna just talk about all my screw ups because I feel like that could save people time.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, let's do it.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm a real estate investor, and I wasn't zero marketing. I was just like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm reading up on it, and I went to this like seminar, And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm going to go there and all the people talking, I'm going to tell them that I'm going to get them properties and then sell it to them. They're going to be my buyers.
Makes sense.
So, you know, I go there, I go talk to the guy. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm a wholesaler. You know, I'm going to get deals. He's like, how long you been doing it? I go, oh, you know, 5 months. He goes, how many deals have you done? And I'm like, none. And he's like, why? And I'm like, what do you mean, why? Really? Like, he just said why, like it's like tying your shoelace. Like, why is he saying that?
Just challenge you on the spot.
Yeah. So then I started to do things that, you know, I normally, my character probably would have looked at and said, that's beneath me. You know, I had the silver spoon attitude, right? I had to get out of that. So, you know, I got like 10,000 flyers and I started going, I'm like, everyone that wants to fix up their house is going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's. So I would make a map of all the Home Depots and Lowe's in Las Vegas, and I would drive to every single one of them and put flyers. Boom, boom, boom. I passed out 10,000 flyers, no deals, nothing, you know? But I discovered the secret when I did that, because...
What was the secret?
The secret is, if you put in work, no matter what you do, it'll come to you somewhere else. Maybe it's not going to come to you from what you're doing.
Exactly.
But the universe gifted me a deal because I was doing this and I was passing out business cards. I met a property manager and I told him what I did. And he's like, hey, I got a guy that wants to move to Canada. He needs to sell his property. Set up the appointment. That was my first deal.
Right.
But that call came, strangely enough, the day after the 10,000 flyer was said, which was a goal of mine when I wrote down, pass out 10,000 flyers.
Cool. Very cool.
That was huge.
Well, the activities, right? So if you're doing the activities, it's, you know, remember when the Ravens won the Super Bowl many years ago? Yeah, the Ray Lewis years. And it's like, you know, we create our own luck. And it was like, that sounds ridiculous. You create your own luck. But you do the right things over and over again, ball's gonna bounce in your favor.
Yeah. Well, you do it enough. Right? Eventually, it'll fall in your favor.
Right. So it's very cool.
You could fail 100 times. You only succeed once, right?
Yeah. So you did the 10,000 flyers. Property manager referred you that first deal, and you wholesaled that one.
Yeah. I wholesaled that, and it was a $2,500 check. But it was the check. Somewhere. It was the check that I knew. Hey, this is real.
Yeah.
You know, I just literally created this money out of thin air. How did I do that? Just by being me and connecting two people.
Right.
Wow. Okay, I could do this. You know, that's what I love doing. I love like connecting people, so it fit.
So what happened after that?
After that, I started to. I didn't know what I was doing, man. You know, I got a website. You know, I started getting leads. I did Google AdWords. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I got leads in like Texas, McAllen, Texas. You know, talked to the guy, built amazing rapport with him. He wasn't selling his house to anyone else. I'm like, okay, how do I close a deal in another state? And I remember, I'm like, oh, like 1-800 call now, or I forgot the Clothier thing, like 1-800 sell now or
There's
something.
800 fair offer.
Yeah, fair
Alex
offer,
Youngblood's
like
company.
That.
Yeah.
So I called that number and it said, please enter your zip code. And I entered the zip code and I got in touch with somebody who was a licensee for them, a wholesaler in McAllen, Texas.
Nice.
Okay, David Fair is his name, great guy. So I started talking with him, and then I said, hey, David, you know what? I got this deal. I get it under contract. Let me just say this, man. I don't do this normally. You know, I was talking big. I'm like, I don't do this normally, but I'm willing to go 50-50 if you just run this home for us, okay? You know? And this guy is like, he's teaching real estate classes, you know, and he's looking at his partner. He's like, this guy wants 50-50 for what, a referral? I'm like, no, I'll get it under contract. So I got it under contract. They did the deal. You know, I got like it was $2,500. It was $5K assignment. I got $2,500.
Nice.
So that was the second deal. Yeah,
right.
But it was out of state. I didn't know what I was doing, you know, but it just kind of happened.
But you had the resourcefulness.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right? I mean, you knew about Alex's company because you're in it. You're doing it. And then you went and executed.
I utilized that avenue there to find me what I needed, I guess. Yeah.
And that's a valuable skill, right? Because entrepreneurship and grit is that problem solving. Right? You had a problem because I'm gonna be honest here. I get out of state leagues like, we don't buy out there. Man, that one little bit can just
$2,500.
Yeah, just improve my or reduce my expenses right there. So that's huge. So what would be the first 2 or 3 things you would do if you were starting over today?
Oh, starting over today, man. I would join a mastermind or go to a group a lot faster than I did. I was very ignorant when I was young. Again, I'm battling that silver spoon BS that I had to go through.
Yeah.
I thought I knew everything, you know. I wasn't humble enough to sit in a room and listen to somebody else teach me something that I did not know, because I know everything.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. Now I know I don't know shit. Sorry, can I?
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah, I know nothing now.
Yeah.
You know. So now it's very easy to be the dumbest guy in the room.
Right.
Like I look for rooms where I could be the dumbest guy. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
So like the first thing I would do is join. Take a course. I would take a course. I did take a course. Do everything in the course, and join a mastermind a little bit faster. It took me like 7 months or 8 months to join one, but I should have joined one a lot faster.
Okay.
And I would have done that differently. Another thing I would have done differently is I would have incorporated what I learned from Think and Grow Rich sooner, because he gives you the blueprint in chapter 2. Anybody, if you guys say you've read Think and Grow Rich, okay, and you don't know what chapter 2 is called, then you haven't read it. It's called Desire, and there's a blueprint, a 7-step formula how to convert your desire into riches. That's the first thing I would do. Like, grab that right now. If you're gonna stop this, stop it and go do that, and then because it's gonna help your life, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm taking people away from the show, but
no, that's all good.
Think and Grow Rich chapter 2. That's where it's at, man. I would have incorporated that immediately.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite books. In fact, I've gone through, right? We talked earlier, like I've been doing this for 11 years now, and I've read tons and tons of books. And Think and Grow Rich is one of the first 3 or 5 books I've read.
Yeah.
And in going through and learning all this stuff, I came back and I read Think and Grow Rich again. And it's like, man, almost everything I've learned was in this book. If I would just read this book like 100 times, it would have shortcut a lot of the struggles.
The whole idea of a mastermind is in the book.
Yeah, mastermind. That's where it started.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's see. What does a good referral look like for you?
What's a good referral look like to me? Wow, I get so many of them, man. A good one would be, hey, this person wants to sell. Here's the telephone number. Here's the name. They warm transfer my acquisitions guy on the phone, and they actually want to sell, and the numbers work. I get a lot of referrals where the ARV is 300, but ARV is 100. ARV is 500, ARV is 300, really. So it's, people are just starting out, so it's not like you can get mad at it. But a good referral is somebody that knows their numbers and points us in that direction.
Okay, now you're in Vegas, and we've talked about in some of our other meetups, there's a handful of areas that are crazy competitive. Phoenix is definitely on the list. I've heard Houston's on the list. My buddy Jared Vidalis says Vegas is the craziest.
Genius Jared, that's what I call that guy. That guy is his brain is a computer.
Yeah.
Straight up. Him and Sal, like both those guys are just other levels.
Yeah.
I remember Sal, like just to jump in right here real quick, like normally like a person works in the daytime, and then works during the morning, daytime, evening, and then they sleep. Like when it's time for everyone to sleep, Sal is like continuously going and fixing more problems and more. It's like a computer. He doesn't rest. I don't understand. I think he might be a computer or an alien or something.
Well, he's super sharp. We know that for sure. So is Jared right? Is Jared wrong? How's Vegas?
So I'm the wrong guy to ask, bro, because
why is
Steve,
that?
Competition is to me is a made up word.
I love that.
Like it's not real. The competition is in our mind.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan did not say, I'm going to beat this person. Michael Jordan said, I'm going to be better than who I was yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the best that I could be. Right? That's what I want to do. I want to be better than I was yesterday. I'm looking at company metrics. I want my metrics, the metrics for the Guardian Group, to be better every year. I don't care what anyone else is doing. You're doing 20 deals, great. Let me talk to you because let's see what you're doing that's working, right? And I'll share with you what's working. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to be better than who I was yesterday. So for me, I feel like I attract, or the company attracts its own customers.
Yeah.
So my acquisitions guy or my acquisitions gal is going to attract people that they connect with.
Right.
And nobody could take them away.
Yeah.
It's theirs.
Well, so I guess part of that too. So I heard two things, right? A, competition with yourself, right? You're not competing against anybody else. They're competing with you, right? You're competing with yourself.
I'm competing with myself, exactly.
And then B, you're attracting the best people, and that's where you have the advantage. Did I hear that right?
Training people to be their best self. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, everybody needs something, right? Or else what's the point of being a leader?
Right.
You gotta level people up, or else you're like a stand. You know, you're not doing what you should be doing as a leader.
Yeah. Right.
So
Your job.
That's been a challenge, right? Because
Yeah.
I was thinking about me all my life, and then I had to understand what being a leader was. And Rafael Vargas is really the first person that put in my head like what a real leader was.
Yeah.
That's why he's king. Rafael is king, man. Like he was like, you know what, bro? He goes, you think you're a leader, but you think about yourself. You're not a leader. A leader thinks about other people before they think about themselves. The leaders eat last.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. And man, when you came into town, I was like, okay, like let's see what this guy's about. He's 26 years old. Let's see what he knows. The guy starts talking. It's like, man, incredibly wise. It's unbelievable.
Exactly. When Raphael talks, you don't talk, bro. You
it's
just
just crazy amounts of wisdom.
Right. Exactly. Wisdom, knowledge, and he has good discernment. Very good discernment. Like he knows when to disperse the information very well.
Yeah. So, what do you attribute your success to?
Everybody I've ever met, man. Honestly, everybody that I've ever met in real estate that has actually spoken to me, whether they've done deals or not, I'm always learning from somebody. So if somebody's never done deals before, I'm talking to them and I'm like, oh, that's why you're not doing deals.
Yeah.
So I can't be like that.
Right.
If I see somebody doing better than me, which a lot of people are, I'm like, wow, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
How are you getting to this level? What are you doing? Let me see your attributes, that audible, like listening, opening my brain up to learning new things. I guess you could say the biggest reason is my mother.
Yeah.
Because she was my why. Now, I want to start my own family, wife, kids, do that thing. So it's like my why is sort of changing now, But at the end of the day, she's always why, like I had to take care of her. I had to do whatever I had to do. I had to stop being a child and start being a man and provide for her. So that lifted me up, and I think it would lift a lot of people up if they have a strong why, like a mother or a husband, wife, whatever, child especially. Geez, like that.
Well, that's interesting, right? So, because we talked about like you made all this progress in 4 years, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a very long period of time. So how'd you go from, like Silver Spoon, entitled, it's kind of what it sounded like.
Yeah, very.
To now humble leader leading your organization.
I'm still working on the humility, man.
Okay, I'm still a leader that can lead.
I'm still trying.
So what do you attribute like the short period, like you got there way faster, right, than most people do? Like you can't just become a success in 2 or 3 years. You can't.
But like I said, man, going to a big life-changing event was a hot seat event in Washington with Raphael.
Yeah.
So then that taught me, hey, you know what? Like you need to get into more rooms like that. And just going to different masterminds and different hot seat events, being around successful people. There was this saying. It said, if there's 4 millionaires in the room and you hang around them, you're going to be the 5th. Something like that, kind of butcher.
Yeah.
But the idea is the same, right?
Right.
So it was surrounding myself with people that, were thinking on that level. And that forced me to level up, because something that I thought was impossible, was shown to me to be happening. Yeah. And then I started analyzing the word impossible, and I realized that impossible just means I'm possible. That's what it breaks down to. So if you say you can't do it, you're right. You can't do it. If you say you can do it, you're right. You can do it. So why would you say you can't do it? Anything. Why would you do that?
That's one of my favorite sayings. One of my favorite quotes from Henry Ford, right?
Yeah, that's why so many audibles, all the quotes are like in my brain.
So let's give Raphael some more love here. Explain the hot seat. What was his hot seat event? What was it about? What was it like?
Homie gave us the blueprint, man.
Yeah.
Like he when you're first starting out as a wholesaler, again, you're thinking about you, right? So you're thinking about 1 deal, 2 deals, 3 deals. You're not really, at least I wasn't, thinking corporation, managers, sales associates, training, KPIs. What's a KPI? Is a serial? You know what I mean? Oh, key performance indicators. Okay.
Right, yeah.
You know, and all of this information. So like that to me that's what that hot seat was. It was basically saying, hey, I built this company. We built this company. This is how we build it. This is how we make sure everybody's doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Here. You're like, oh wow, okay, man. I like if I don't do anything, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, and working with, you know, that's where I met Alex, Jalen, Carlos, and Sal. And, you know, we went back to our respective areas and, you know, we networked still. And it was just kind of like, oh, I'm doing this, that's working. And then like, oh, I'm doing this, that's working. And then just kind of boom, 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 leveling each other up. Right, exactly.
Yep.
And, you know, those guys, you know, just hit another level, you know. And so I learned so much just being around them, period.
Right.
You know. That's why I rep their all in right here not you know, that's straight up like what they're doing right now for people, you know, they're making millionaires. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it's a process. It's a not a process, it's a system. You plug in
system and
then
you
franchise.
and then you create the processes, right?
So that's the thing
you get, exactly. That's like the toughest part, right? The execution.
It is the hardest part, getting the right people to execute it for it together. So let's talk about your organization, right? So you said you got an acquisition manager and you're doing this. Yeah. What does your organization look like today?
So at this point, we have 12 people in lead generation, cold calling on salary.
Okay.
And then we have various people that are driving for dollars for us city-wise. We have 3 people on the acquisitions team. And then we have somebody who's running operations, who I'm kind of grooming to be COO, but I like to call him integrator.
Yeah.
You know, our integrator. I got to go through. This is the 3rd integrator that, you know, I'm trying to. Well, I tried before. Now I have done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I found my integrator. You know, and he's integrating. You know.
Yeah.
And he's integrating better than me, so I'm okay releasing the reins. You know.
Well, a good integrator should.
Yeah.
Right. And so for you guys that aren't familiar with the term integrator, that's from Traction. You got the visionary, you got the integrator. And a visionary is great at a lot of things, but implementing is not one of them.
Yeah, right. No.
So that's where an integrator implements the visionary's vision. Okay,
Just
so
to drop some gems for people, is it okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, Traction is a book. Pick that up. And then also, if you have a partner right now, you guys 2 people, who's the integrator? Who's the visionary? Rocket Fuel, same author, Gino Wickman. That's what we use, and it really helps you understand your roles and responsibilities, guys. So it's very big that you understand who's going to be doing what, because if you're both doing the same thing, it doesn't work. One person's got to rule one kingdom, and you guys can't cross paths or else it ain't going to work.
Well, not just that. So I gave the book to my integrator because it also helps the integrator understand how to deal with visionaries, because we're problem makers.
Yes.
We cause a lot of issues.
It's very easy to hate us.
Very easy.
Very easy.
Right.
Yeah. So you got to have that charm to make them love you. But they're gonna
here's a guidebook how to deal with me. So the other thing too. So you got 12 dialers or callers on salary.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's that salary? What's their compensation structure? How does that all work?
Okay. So they're varied from $4 an hour to $7 an hour. They're outside the United States. We tried in-house. We tried some services, you know, and then we have one person who kind of manages them and coaches them every Monday. We have a lot of incentives. You get a certain amount of leads, you get a bonus. You get a certain amount of leads, you get to spin the wheel and get a prize. So we do like video conferencing where we'll spin the wheel online and make them feel like they're a part of the team, because they are, you know. Yeah. And just really, I don't know. I mean, if you can't tell, man, I'm a people person. I love human beings.
Yeah.
So I don't want someone to feel like a cog in the chain. I'm not saying this is the best thing. Maybe it's a bad thing I'm doing. I don't know. But like, I want them to know they're a part of the team. So it's like, hey, if you're not feeling well, you don't got to lie. Just don't just let me know you don't want to work today.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Right. We're in it together.
You know what I mean? Like, if you got some family stuff going on, let me know. Maybe I could help out, you know? There's been a lot of times, I don't want to get into details, but team members overseas or locally, there's stuff going on in their families or stuff, and they need, you know, financial help, or they need some sort of assistance to hold them over until a commission check or something like that, you know? And I feel like it's, as a leader, it's the responsibility of the leader to make sure that everyone's taken care of, you know, at all times. So like sometimes when people just start out, you know, they don't have like the silver spoon, so they don't have that money, and I understand that. You know, I understand that like some people need money now, you know, and maybe you could trust them, give them money now, and then they perform. Sometimes they do, and you look like a genius. Sometimes they don't, and you look like a moron. But at the end of the day,
you're better off looking like a moron and helping.
Yeah, exactly. In my book, because I wouldn't be able to sleep. You know, I can't. Like, if I could, maybe I would, but I can't. Like, it doesn't. It's not who I am. Yeah.
So, 2 things. Next time you spin that wheel, put it on Instagram. Tag me. I want to see it.
Okay.
And then we're going to the acquisitions managers now, right? Yeah. So you got the 12 cold callers, and are they primarily sifting, or are they're qualifying? They're not making offers.
No. All they're doing is filling in the pipeline for the acquisitions department.
So they're sifting, putting in the information in, setting it up for the acquisition guys.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, so the acquisition guys, they're not on salary.
No, they're straight commission.
They're straight commission. Yeah. Okay. And then their job then is to do we do the John Martinez scripts over the phone, or are they going in person?
I mean, it's you could close the deal over the phone, or you go there. I teach them to really kind of understand what that person is on the other end and what they want, because some people, they might give you a high number, you know, on the phone.
Yeah.
And you're not even going to get to their face if you talk about numbers.
Right.
But if you go there and you talk to them and then you find out their real situation, and now you've broken through that barrier that all the lazy people didn't want to get through, now you have an opportunity to have a real negotiation and a real conversation.
Right.
But you know, when you get flooded, sometimes we get flooded like in a week, you know, we got like 50, 100, like 350 leads a week, you know, it gets a little tough to go to all those appointments, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to focus more. We had this problem where we had 350 leads come in, and then 300 the next week, and then 300, 350. So, you know, you got over 1,000 leads in the month. And I had like no acquisitions people to call me, one person, you know. Like, why aren't you calling? Last time you called this guy was 3 days ago. What the hell? It's a hot lead, you know. Yeah. It's like you don't have the manpower.
Right.
So that forced me to grow and hire more acquisitions people.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that Juan right now, he's my main acquisitions guy. He just started like 3 months ago, but he's already locked up 5 deals. You know. Yeah. He's a sponge. You know what I mean? And he's very. It's a crazy thing about Juan, man. So can I say this?
Oh, yeah.
So we went to I always say this story, and he hates it, but it's funny. So this guy like never ate fish in his life. Okay.
Really?
So yeah, we go to a restaurant, Milos in Vegas. If you guys are ever there, if you're ever there, Vegas, go to Milos. It's in Cosmo. It's a great Greek restaurant.
Okay.
So anyways, I go there for lunch all the time. You know, it's $20. You get lobster and pasta. I'm like, oh, it's a good deal. You know.
It's a great deal.
But don't go there at nighttime. Okay. Because at nighttime the prices change. You know, that same dish is like $100 dish now, right? So anyways, we go there, and then I'm like, yeah, try fish, Juan. It's like, okay. So we go, and the chef shows us all the fish, you know, and then he's like, choose one, and then he just happens to choose the most expensive $350 fish, white fish, you know. So I didn't know, like no one asked for the money, you know. We didn't, like I'm not gonna go and do that.
You're in Cosmo.
We get so we get the food and everything. The bill comes, and I see this guy chose a $350 fish. I'm like, man. But we went there because he closed a $30K wholesale deal. So you know, we were out celebrating. That's another thing too, man. With your team that I learned, it'll help a lot of people, man. When you win with the team.
Yeah.
You know, celebrate the win. You get a deal, go out. You don't have to blow that much. You know. $100, $50, $20, whatever it is, do something to commemorate the deal, because that makes you more hungry for more and more and more, and then the alignment works a little bit better.
Okay, and then let's talk about disposition. Did I hear disposition? Did you say it?
I'm dispositions right now.
You're disposition.
Yeah, I'm dispositions right now. So like,
you get a deal, you're text blasting, you're calling people. What are you doing?
I'm text blasting. I'm sending out mailers. I'm calling my key guys and letting them know. Yeah. And yeah, I need to get somebody in dispositions, because I'm like the nicest guy in the world in dispositions. But like one thing I do is I never leverage people against each other. Like my buyers know that too. So if they tell me a price or whatever, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you know, you got to be a little bit higher because so-and-so wanted to pay X amount of dollars, you know. So I just let them kind of do what they do. And I'm like, hey, guys, it's tight. I'm getting over asking right now. Just letting you guys know. But I need to get somebody in there that's like That's like the dispositions king.
Yeah.
You know, Jaden, the dispositions king.
Yeah. Okay.
Big shout out, Putney.
So Sonia's got a question. Where did you hire your overseas cold callers?
Ooh, okay, good question. So there's a lot of companies out there, guys. What I would say is, Ivis is going to charge you. Ivis is like a company that has the cold callers. You go to Upwork, hire 2 or 3 of them. And when you have 2 or 3 people, just ask them for referrals. It's the best thing to do. And ask them. So if you hired somebody at $6 an hour, you go have them work for you for a couple of months, get to know their character a little bit, see if they lie or they're honest people. If they wind up being honest and they're doing their job, say, hey, do you know anyone else looking for a job? And I've gotten like 4 people just from referrals, and I've always asked them to see if they have people to work for $1 less than what they got paid. So it's just, hey, is that available? If not, then it's okay. But do you have somebody that fits this criteria?
Right.
So that worked out a lot.
Awesome.
Sonia? Was that
Yeah, Sonia Ray, yeah.
Sonia Ray, great question.
Okay, so now that we talked about your organization, how about sourcing deals? What is your best lead source?
Cold calling.
Cold calling. Who are you cold calling?
Everybody.
Yeah. Is Vegas small enough that you can call every single person?
Yes, everybody. So everyone.
Zady's looking. Zady's outside your house right now.
So yeah, I mean, Joe Taylor, bless this man. He has this great property lead manager. So it's like a stacking software for their list. If anyone reaches out to me, I'll let you know. List property manager. That's what it's called. So he lets you stack your lists. So basically you could pull every house in the county, put it in the list. And then you could pull a pre-foreclosure list. You could put all these other lists. And then you compare and you see, okay, how many people are on multiple lists? Are they on 2 lists, 3 lists, 4 lists? If they're on 5 lists, you think that's going to be priority to call?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So doing that, I'm getting into, stopped direct mail for a little bit, but I got back into it just with sending out less mail and more targeted.
Yeah.
Just harder to find people. We could just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So just people that are a little bit harder to find where normally they wouldn't get direct mail. So that's who we're sending mail out to.
So let's elaborate the stacking. Let's explain to someone, if you're stacking 3 boxes, what does that mean? Okay,
so somebody you pull up a pre-foreclosure list, someone's name is on there, right? Then you pull up tax delinquent list, someone's name, same name is on there, right? And you go pull up the water shutoff list, there's the same name, right? So this person's on 3 different lists. If you don't have any way to understand that they're on 3 different lists and you're mailing, you're going to mail 3 different people. So imagine all that money you're wasting. Take that and you multiply it by 10,000, right?
Yeah.
So if you send out 10,000, imagine 3,000 people out of the 10,000 are people that you've already sent stuff to and you don't need to.
Right.
Not you're sending it again. It's just you're sending it to somebody that you don't need to because they're already on another campaign.
Right.
So you save money that way. And also, you want to call somebody who's on multiple lists, right? So if somebody has more pain points, that's who you want to talk to. You don't want to talk to the guy just with high equity, even though we call high equity. That's how we get that's why we get everybody. It's because we pull out high equity. I guess not everybody. Okay, if you don't have any equity, we don't call you. Okay?
Yeah.
But you got equity and you live in Las Vegas, one of my people have called you. That's just what we do.
So I was telling you earlier about my best friend, right? So he's in California. He's like, Steve, why are these people calling me? It's like, okay, you're out of state. You've owned it for 10 years. You have high equity. It's like, how do I get off this list? Like, you don't. You just don't get off this list.
Because even if you don't pay, now you go on a pre-foreclosure list. You're on another list.
You're on another list. Now you're really screwed. Okay, so we talked about list property manager. What other tools, CRM, or systems could you not live without?
Podio, man. Podio is just beautiful. Everyone has Podio, right?
Yep.
But people use other. I've noticed a lot of people veering away from Podio, and then they come back to Podio, right? But you got to have the right Podio system, right? So
what's the right Podio system?
Right now, I would go to All In Marketing. I ain't getting paid for this, man, but I'm just trying to drop some gems.
You mean put in a good word for you?
Go to All In Marketing and download one of the Podios that the brainchild Sal set up, man, because it's just next level stuff, man. like my Podio system, for instance, and this is originally, I have my own developer and everything, and we've developed it. But, let's say you got a contract, right? You don't want to go in there and get a piece of paper and write the contract, scan it, put it in DocuSign. You want something fast.
Right.
So you fill out the Podio, you click a button, it fills up the contract, the DocuSigns it, they sign it, and puts it right back in the system. That's the kind of system that you want.
Right.
You want tracking in your system, right?
Yep.
So you want to say, okay, how many mail pieces or how many phone calls did I make? Oh, I made 30,000 phone calls. 30,000 phone calls generated how many leads? Oh, okay, 300 leads. Out of those 300, how many offers did we do? Okay, we did 100 offers. How many deals did we close? 2 deals. So you see, the metrics.
Yeah.
You see what it takes to get a deal. And then what do? No competition but yourself. You beat those numbers.
Yeah.
So if 1 in every 50 offers is a deal, okay, let's try to make that 1 in every 40. Let's try to make that 1 in every 30. If it's 30,000 phone calls per deal, cold calls. If it's that, let's bring it down to 28, 27, 26.
Right.
So that's Podio gives you the ability to track your business. And someone said this, again, I don't know who said it, but I'm full of quotes, but it's so important. If you can't track it, you can't improve it.
Right.
So we're all in this business to improve. As human beings, we're always improving. So why wouldn't you track everything?
Right.
It's just laziness to me. I was lazy. Then my dad died, and I had to not be lazy. I'm still lazy, but I'm working on it.
Any other tools or systems you couldn't live without?
Tools or systems I couldn't live without. Man, is having the ability to be a problem solver a tool? Then that.
You are that tool.
That everybody in the organization needs to be a problem solver. That's one thing I learned the hard way. I was hiring people that weren't problem solvers. They'd be like, "Oh, hey, look, this is the problem." I don't want to hear that.
And what did you do about it?
Right. There's a problem. Right. What are the solutions? If you don't know them, then you're not there. So I think problem solving, you take everything away. Okay, just rip everything away from me, even all this stuff, just naked. And with the ability to be a problem solver, I'll be cool. I'll get to where I'm at now.
All right. Awesome. So Gus Sestiego wants to know, how many numbers are you dialing a week?
Oh my goodness. 70, let's see. 12,000, 12. Can I use my calculator?
Sure. Okay. I mean, your Persian Armenian background's not coming through right now.
7,500 times 5. I mean, anywhere between 37,000 and 60,000.
Okay. And then Nick
Not
Robles.
60, sorry, 50.
And Nick Robles wants to know, how many offers to a seller do you make? I guess you didn't say in time frame, so let's just say a week. And is there a certain formula you use to calculate your MAO?
Yeah. Well, MAO is dependent on area. In Vegas, there's some people that don't want to buy anything unless they're getting it for 60 cents on the dollar wholesaling.
Vegas?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Some areas.
Okay.
Like pockets, not
like
zip
rural,
codes.
like
Yeah,
south there.
Yeah. And then there's some areas where, you could get 80 cents on the dollar, 85 cents even, we've gone up, But normally, just the safe bet is kind of like 65 to 70.
Okay.
Is our safe bet. And then the MAO that's presented to the acquisitions manager, we kind of tweak based on the acquisitions manager's personality. If they're very giving, we give them a lower MAO knowing that they're going to go over, And if they're very strong in negotiation, we pump it a little bit higher because we don't want to lose the deal because we got a ferocious beast negotiating,
Yeah.
So we just kind of tweak. Again, I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but that's just what we do.
Okay. And so Raphael just jumped on. What's up, Raphael? We were talking about you earlier before you got on the...
The king is here.
Yep. So you got any interesting war stories?
Me? War stories? What, like war stories with sellers?
Wholesaling, yeah.
With wholesaling, huh? War stories. I mean, is this... Define war. Like a battle?
So I've had, let's see, I'm trying to think of something that people talked about. I know Chris, he talked about a couple episodes ago, he walked into a house and he bought it, sight unseen. Walked in the door, knew he lost money right away because it was a tri-level. It didn't look like a tri-level in the photos.
Oh, shoot. Oh, wow.
Got that. He had a situation where he lent money, and it turned out the granddaughter sold grandma's house without grandma knowing.
Oh, my goodness.
So it wasn't a legit deal.
Oh, well, I got worse stories. Okay, so at this time, when this happened, we had 10 deals in the pipeline. Okay, 10 deals. Every single one of those deals had a seller holdback. Okay?
Okay.
So if you guys don't know what a seller holdback is you're in wholesaling, seller holdbacks are huge because you buy the house and the seller gets to stay in the house for an allocated certain amount of time. If they don't get out by that day, that money is released to whatever the contract says, right? So on all our contracts, it said that the money is coming to the Guardian Group, okay? Now, the escrow agent, who shall not be named, didn't hold back any of the money for any of them.
Sounds like someone got fired.
No, because we're really cool and we didn't tell anybody, but that escrow officer gave us her personal cell phone number after that day, and she stayed open on weekends. So, but the problem was we had, that was like, well, that's $1,000, around $5,000, $5,000 worth of money that if the sellers didn't pull their part, that was going to come out of our end. So I had to go talk to each one of the sellers and make sure I got them out.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to fork over that money. Now, of course, I could have made with the title company, had done all that stuff, but that's like going to slow down business. So I'm not going to do that. I got to pay and then afterwards take care of it. But I had to go to every single one of the sellers and just make sure that all the things were taken care of. And some people, like, they didn't even start moving, So I had to pay to get trucks. I had to pay to get people to clean stuff up, and we just got to do whatever we had to do, scramble. We had to send people to help somebody move, because they weren't going to get out in time. So that was a battle, man.
That sounds stressful if you got 10 of those going on.
Yeah, 10 of them. That's it. That's why it was stressful. It was like 1 or 2 would be different. But
right.
And this lady never had an issue with her in escrow. We actually funneled more deals to her because she was quicker, faster. She didn't want so much paperwork.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the issue. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to throw her under the bus, man. But that was crazy. We got lucky. We got out of that situation.
So, how would you share with someone how would you get them to over 100K in wholesale fees in 1 month? I mean, I would love to get there.
Multiple lead sources, of course. That's huge.
Right.
Have multiple people in multiple places. Like Driving for Dollars is we just started to incorporate that, but we should have a long time ago.
Yeah.
Also, if you're going to be cold calling, it's very easy with cold calling, okay? Because it's a numbers game. All you have to do is crank the volume up on the number of calls.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means that you have to buy more leads, which means you have to call more people, which means you have to hire more people, right? So that's where the tough part comes in, right?
So,
but if you get a high equity list, let's say, right? So you go to your area and you pull a high equity list, owner occupied, non-owner occupied, doesn't matter. Okay, pull a high equity list, and then also if you're on list source, go to unknown equity. Just pull just that separate. That's a different list. But get all that information, skip trace them all, get all their telephone numbers, put it into a calling system, get cold callers on there with the script, have them bang out the calls, send the leads to your leads department, have them call, have them make their offers and go to the appointments, and just track everything. That's how you get to 100K. So you track everything and you scale.
That's like a PhD in like 5 minutes, right? Or 2 minutes.
Hey man, I'm keeping it real. I'm not consistent every month 100K, man. Like that's the goal. Like 3, 4. Okay, it's happening, but like my goal is again like to do more. It's to have like the 200, 300s.
So it's really just making sure the systems are in place. So and I think Darren Hardy is one of my coaches. I love the guy, right? And he says like we all know what we need to do.
Yeah.
We just don't necessarily do it.
That's true. One of the guys I know, he's in Las Vegas, man. I call him the little guy. So shout out to you, little guy. He's the only guy shorter than me in this game, so that's why I call him little guy. But anyway, so like he spends no money on marketing. No money, but he's close to pulling in 100 a month, and he's gonna get there. And all he does is he has people bring him deals.
Yeah.
You know, he's just got that touch. You know, I don't know what it is, but like just social media presence is like amazing.
Right.
And just people just bring him deals.
Yeah.
You know, and he gets there. So you don't necessarily need to build the marketing machine, you know, and throw a bunch of money into it. That's just one way. You know, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's other ways to do it. I know some people that they're not like they're in the high end markets like San Francisco or Virginia, you know, and their wholesale fees are 150, 200 grand.
Is it Jason Boozy?
You know, Booze Cruise, man. Booze is amazing, man.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Boozy right now, but Boozy threw a mastermind actually. Oh, sorry. He threw a mastermind in San Francisco, and I went there, and there's all these San Francisco wholesalers there, you know, and they're telling me their numbers, and you know, it was me, Carlos, Sal, and Alex. We're all looking at each other, and we're like, man, we should go to San Francisco. We should start marketing here. You know, like, this is you know, maybe we should start incorporating this. But you know, those bigger wholesale fees mean that you have to market less. You know, or you could focus on the niche lists. You don't have to go widespread. You know,
Right.
I guess there's two ways, right? You got wide, you got shotgun approach, and then you got sniper.
Yeah.
You know, the snipers is you gotta be a very skilled person to be the sniper, right? Anybody could just get a shotgun and shoot. So when you're starting out, my advice would be, you know, do the shotgun approach, you know, and you'll learn what a motivated seller sounds like, what they feel like. You'll just know. Right now, like I'll hear somebody on the phone, I'm like, that's a deal.
Yeah.
You know, within like maybe like 30 seconds of the call.
Based off the questions?
Just the reaction, the caller's reaction. Or I'll be walking by and I'll hear the seller say something, or like a pause. Like you just learn this stuff, man. It's not like I have this amazing ability. It's anybody who's been in it long enough will see the patterns.
Yep.
You know? And going just high equity and getting a bunch of people will train you to be able to handle those niche lists a little bit better.
Yeah. Sonia wants to know, who do you use for skip tracing?
Need to skip. TKO, boom. Need to skip. Man, yeah, and I was using Need to Skip before Need to Skip was Need to Skip.
Yeah.
You know, so I know where the data comes from and I know how solid it is.
Right.
You know, and that's why to me it wasn't even like, oh, should I try them, or you know. But what I would say is just with any skip tracing, you know, what I would do is compare. That's all you can do. You know, send in the minimum for each one and just see for yourself, see the results, track the results, because you don't have to go off of somebody's word. You're going off of your own data.
Yep.
And to me, like, I know I'm a nice guy, I'm an honest guy, I'm gonna point you in the right direction, but at the end of the day, you want to go with your experience. So order a minimum and test it. And if it's what the product says it is, then just go with it. And if it's not, find something else.
Right.
And eventually you'll find one that you're happy with.
Very wise. So let's see if there's anything else. Brian Samuels wants to know, if it wasn't for real estate, what would you be doing instead?
Man, what am I doing instead? Jeez, I started 6 businesses before this. All of them failed miserably.
Yeah.
I didn't make any money.
What were the businesses?
Wow, my God. Okay, so entertainment business, like, because I was talking to you, I come from a movie background.
Yeah.
So I was like making like short films for people. That didn't work. Then, you know, photography, you know, that didn't work. Then I went to New York and I was doing a hedge fund. So someone gave me like a hedge fund to run, $20 million hedge fund. I didn't even know anything. That's my superpower, bro. Like I'll get into a room, I'll talk to someone, and they'll just give me free shit. I don't know what it is.
I mean, if you can get that guy back with the $20 million hedge fund, we can do business together.
Well, I didn't go to jail, but he wound up being somebody that you don't really want to work with.
Gotcha.
Kind of Italian descent, and you know, caused some issues. The FBI called me eventually. You know,
Ooh, okay.
I dodged a bullet. I still have the FBI. Agent O'Hara is his name. I remember when he called me, he was like. He's like, yeah, sorry, you couldn't say my name. And I'm like, do I call you Agent O'Hara? Or he's just call me Bill. I'm like, can I call you Agent? Because it's cool.
Yeah.
But that business, a bunch of other side businesses that I try to like buy stuff and sell. I'm like, I'm going to go to garages and you know, buy like classic items and sell them. And I would buy it and then I wouldn't sell it, you know?
So this is something that's common, I think. Do you have a vehicle dealer's license?
No, I don't.
No,
but that's
shocked.
A great idea.
Shocked.
Yeah. What, just I buy cars and then rent them out? And
no,
then, like,
buy them and sell them on Craigslist. I know a lot of people in that field.
I was actually thinking about like buying some exotic cars and then renting them out, and then just so it pays for itself. and then you could just drive it when it's not rented out.
Yeah.
So you can make money and drive an exotic at the same time.
Yeah. So Chris Jackson wants to know, what's your cost per acquisition?
Ooh, that is a question for my integrator.
Yeah.
That's not a question for the. I guess I should know that, man. But honestly, it should be under $10. It should be like around $9 probably. If not $7 to $9.
Acquisition or a lead?
No, lead. Sorry, like cost per lead. My bad.
I was gonna say, man, that should cost per acquisition.
Take that cost per lead. Take that and multiply by 50, I guess, right? So let's just round it and say 9 times 50. So $450.
Okay, that sounds a little more realistic.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about your superpower. Put you in a room, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Or is there more?
I just love connecting and talking with people, Steve.
Yeah.
I just love it, man. I genuinely, like when I see, I don't know what it is. When I see somebody, I see their potential, and I have to tell them, because I feel like people don't do that. They don't tell somebody like, hey, I see this gift in you. You have the ability to do this. And I'm like, why don't more people do that? But I guess it's a gift. I just kind of figured that out about myself, where I could just see people's abilities and then share it with them to make them better.
See the best
to
in them.
Unleash things in them, you know?
Yeah. Very cool. I love that.
And also, I am, like, you know Mystique from X-Men? You know, what was her superpower?
She can change into transform into wherever she needed to be.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's something I do.
A chameleon.
Yeah, I could I'll see somebody and I'll take an attribute from them that I love, and I'll say, wow, you know what? I want to add this to my personality because it'll help me be a better person. Now it's like, now I have that. You know, and then I look at somebody and I'm like, wow, I don't want that personality. I sense that in myself. Let me take that out and get rid of it. You know?
Oh, that's powerful. What is your biggest struggle right now?
Consistency with the team, you know, making sure that my team is, I think Nipsey Hussle said it. He said, don't be changing the players on your team too much. He said that in a song.
I was going to say, I'm not familiar with it. So there he goes. He's an artist.
That song, All My Life. I've been grinding all my life, all my life. So anyways, but yeah, it's, you know, leading somebody to their desire, you know, it's very challenging, you know, because you know, they'll communicate it to you and then it'll change, is what I'm finding. Because there's a lot. What do you mean? Like, for instance, I want to know what somebody's goal is, right? I want to know, I want to help them get there. So to me as a leader, it's not like, hey, here's where the company's going. You know, it's like, okay, where do you want to go? Okay, you want to go here? Okay, well, that could fit within the company, get to its goals. So let me help you get to your goal because the company is going to hit its goal.
Yes.
Right? So having somebody's goal change where like they want to get into, for instance, I'll give a real life example. Somebody who wants to run the company, right? One of my ex-partners wanted to be in the office every day, run the company. And then all of a sudden it turned into, well, I'd rather just work from home and, you know, I want to be around my kid and I don't really like the office environment thing. So like that changed. So now everything that I've planned to help him achieve his goal has changed.
Yeah.
So now I have to alter it. So now I got to just completely change everything. So that's been a very big challenge for me. Very big challenge for me.
I totally get that. So what is one lesson you want to teach today's young real estate entrepreneurs? Give in order to receive. Okay. The most successful people in this business are the ones that give. Are the ones that serve, right? So, you know, when you're talking to a seller, don't look for how much money you can make on this transaction. You want to find a problem that you can fix, that you know you'll get done. You'll know no one else will do it, and you know you got to do it. To give you a story linked with that, if I may. Yeah.
There's Diane. Diane was going through foreclosure, right? So the lead was in the system, and I was kind of in acquisitions at this time, but I was pulling away. Someone else was doing it. And I saw that we have an appointment for Thursday, and then the price, everything makes sense. And I'm like, why Thursday? Why not today? So I get on the phone, and I call her, and I find out that her power is off. She hasn't eaten in 3 days. She has 2 dogs. Okay, they haven't eaten either. What do you think I did?
You went over there.
With what?
Food.
Exactly. So you have to be able to do stuff like that. You have to be able to see someone struggle enough to understand what's missing and then go give them what's missing. Some people are lonely, so you got to talk to them for 2 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours. 4 hours multiple nights. Some people, they don't talk to their brother in Michigan, and they need to get into a mobile home park and they have no credit. And in order for you to buy this house, you need to get them into a mobile home park. So you rekindle the relationship with the brother to vouch for her, right? Her brother.
Right.
And to make him open to co-signing and putting his credit on the line to get her into a mobile home park. Things like that. You find a way to get it done. 2 people going through a divorce, they don't talk to each other. You need to be an intermediary. You're not getting paid for that, but you got to do it.
You're the marriage counselor.
Yeah.
Yep.
If a son is living with the mother and the son is there with the girlfriend, and then there's 5 kids living there and none of them have a job, and they're living off of just sucking the mother's social security. You need to be the Batman that comes in there, right, and eliminates the problem and gets the mother out of this situation, because you could see she has gray hair where 2 years ago she didn't have gray hair.
Yeah.
Like, obviously the 2 are connected. The stress is killing her. So in essence, are you buying a house and getting someone out of a situation, you're literally saving them. That's what I would say. Don't go after the money, go after saving people. Go after solving someone's problem instead of trying to put, where is it?
Looking for the fat wallet?
Instead of putting this paper in your wallet.
Yeah.
Just don't, this is paper. Right? Human beings are human beings.
Right.
Human beings are life forms. They're living, breathing. You have to help that. You have to help people. Don't worry about the paper. It comes. It's a gift.
Yeah. It'll come afterwards. You do the right things right.
Exactly.
What is your favorite, best, or most interesting failure?
My best or most interesting failure?
Yeah.
Best, most interesting failure. Not hitting the company goal last year, 1.5 million. We didn't even come close. But knowing that, just kind of humbling myself, it kind of humbled me, because I'm thinking million, and I don't come anywhere near it. And I'm like, all right, well, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
It really humbled me to a point where I know that I need to improve 10x what I'm doing. And that helped me be a more effective leader, because then I realized that I need to, you can't get to the mountaintop alone. You
can't.
You need a team.
Oh, yeah.
And you could either choose to create a team selfishly, so all of them are serving you, or you could build a team and serve them.
Yeah.
So that helped me realize that, because again, I was selfish at the beginning. It was just about me, and I had to learn that lesson.
So 2017 helped you to see that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
Absolutely.
So Hung wants to know, if you don't want to change the team too much, are you going to hire slow, fire fast, or are you going to encourage some lazy guy to become a beast?
So that's a great question, Hung. I don't follow the wisdom hire fast. Wait. Hire slow, fire fast. Yeah. I don't do that. That's wisdom. Do that. Don't do what I do. So I don't know what I'm doing.
What does Zady do?
Zady is you're in the company, you're family, and you're gonna stay because I take care of my family. But if you become a poison, okay, that's the only time I'm gonna cut you off the company, because now you're poisoning other people and now you're affecting them.
You're a cancer.
Exactly. And you got to cut out the cancer. I've had to do that twice, where I just walked into someone's office. I'm like, look, your attitude is so bad. You got to get out of here. I'm sorry. And they had 2 commission checks waiting. I didn't have to pay them, but I did. Because it was a part of the agreement. To give them a deal, and he got the deal, right? You give him, pay him on a deal, right? You got to honor that no matter what. But again, somebody that's lazy, you got to be careful. People, why are they lazy? They're lazy probably because they're doing something they don't want to be doing, or they're in an environment they don't want to be in. So before you go pointing the finger at someone being lazy, make sure that your environment is harmonious, and make sure the team members all around, not one person is annoying somebody, even if it's you annoying people. Make sure your environment is harmonious. If you're in an office that's boring, why do people want to be there? You know, we have like an arcade system at our office. You know, we play chess a little bit.
Chess.
You know, yeah, I play chess. I love chess.
Yeah.
And you know, just things that are fun. You know, we're like, some people have foosball tables, ping pong tables, pool tables. Just something, you got to make sure the environment is fun. If the environment is fun and there's no one in there that's dragging somebody down, then why is that person even there in the first place? So you have to try to solve that problem before you say, oh, they're lazy, I got to get rid of them. But again, you're talking to a person that like looks at employees and team members as family. So it's difficult to, you know, you don't just cut out your family because they have a bad month.
Right.
You know, you give them the tools they need to succeed, and if they don't and they become a cancer, okay, then you gotta, like, then it's no mercy. Then
right.
I don't, then, you know, then I turn into, you know, you're out of here. There's no conversation.
What book have you gifted more than any other?
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah?
100%.
I love that one. A lot of people have a hard time reading. I recommended that book so many times. People can't.
You don't need to read. You're just chapter 2. That's it. Just read chapter 2.
Just chapter 2?
Chapter 2.
All right.
But you're right. Because it talks about why this works, and you'll find it, and then all the history. Right? I think it gets boring maybe.
It's a tougher read for sure. It's not like today's books. Everything's like kind of like a fable, you know.
Right, yeah.
It's a very dry read, but I love the one. If you guys can find it, last time I looked for it, I couldn't find it. Was the Audible version with Napoleon Hill's speeches in between.
God, that exists.
That exists. So because there's recordings of him, right, of his speeches.
Yeah.
There's like a couple chapters. Here's him speaking. Here's a couple chapters. Here's him speaking. It's incredible. So I don't know if it's still in the Audible store, but I mean, I have it in my phone, so it's.
I haven't seen that, but yeah, I mean, maybe we could talk about that afterwards. I would love that. There's a bunch of Napoleon Hill recordings on this YouTube channel where it's Napoleon Hill recordings and like some like upbeat music.
Yeah.
Either YCYBO or something like that. I don't know, but
and then
I'll share that with you after.
So for Tate, Think and Grow Rich, that was the book, and then there's another one. Speaking with the Devil, what was it?
Interview with the Devil. Is that what it is?
Yeah, another Napoleon Hill book. That one's a huge book as well.
Great book. Another one, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, actually. Very powerful book because of the, not affirmations, but what are they called? You know, you read it?
Yeah.
What's he say that when you like have to do stuff? Declarations. So those declarations are powerful. I actually replace, you know, when he says like, tells you to declare something and point to your head and say, I have a millionaire mind. So when I do that, I always go, I have a billionaire mind. You know, I'm programming billionaire in my mind because I know that this is a computer. So why am I going to limit it, you know?
Yep. Okay, yeah, Sonia, Outwitting the Devil. That's what
Outwitting the Devil.
There you go. Thank you very much. Book. Appreciate that. Because
it's a characters, too. He turns into like the devil's character.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
The backstory behind it is pretty fascinating, too. So that's it. If someone wants to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
Best way, guys, is Instagram, Zady Lee, ZADYLEE on Instagram. Yeah, that would be the best way, man. I answer those all the time. The Instagram takes priority over everything else.
Oh, yeah?
Because I'm just on it so much. I don't know. And like, I get on there and I do a lot of stories where I'll share things about the business and I'll go live and then I'll talk about stuff. Like, when I go live, I drop like literally like company secrets. So I always erase the live right afterwards because I'm like, all right, look, you know what? Maybe you don't want to give everybody the entire blueprint, you know?
Yeah.
But because I don't charge anyone, I'm just like, people have called me too for coaching. I just give them knowledge. Like, don't worry about coaching, bro. Here.
And there's also a lot of dancing. So if you guys looking for dance videos.
Droogie Gang dancing, man.
Yeah.
So the shirts are coming soon. That's going to be exciting. Made in America.
And then again, guys, if you like this show, please share this episode right now. And then we got next week Kenny Klaus. He's going to talk about how he's crushing it right now as a traditional agent with all the technologies coming today, how he's staying relevant in today's industry and challenges. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you. This was awesome.
Steve, it's a pleasure for me to even be invited out here. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.